The Bridge at Dawn. The town of Willowbrook was small, surrounded by golden fields that swayed gently with every breath of wind. In the middle of the town, a stone bridge stretched across a quiet river, the kind that reflected both the moonlight at night and the soft glow of dawn. For many, the bridge was just a path. For Elena, it was the place where her life changed. Elena was a schoolteacher, known for her gentle voice and her way of making every student feel like they mattered. She lived a simple life, filling her evenings with books, music, and long walks across the bridge. Her heart, however, often felt empty, as if waiting for something, or someone, she could not name. One autumn morning, just as the mist still clung to the river, she saw a young man leaning on the stone railing. His dark hair was damp from the fog, and he held a sketchbook in his hands. His name was Adrian, an artist who had recently moved to Willowbrook, searching for inspiration. Their first words were clumsy, spoken with the shy politeness of strangers, but something lingered in their silence, a quiet understanding. Adrian asked if he could sketch her, and though Elena laughed nervously, she agreed. That day, she walked to school with her cheeks warmer than the rising sun. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Every morning, they met at the bridge, she with her basket of books, he with his sketchbook. They spoke of everything, her love for poetry, his dreams of painting the perfect landscape, their shared longing for a life filled with meaning. Sometimes they said nothing at all, letting the flow of the river speak for them. Winter came with snow that dusted the rooftops like powdered sugar. Adrian walked Elena home, carrying her books, their breath forming clouds of laughter in the frosty air. By the fire in his small studio, he showed her his paintings, each canvas filled with light, color, and a piece of his soul. She became his muse, not just in art but in life. But love is never without shadows. Adrian received a letter, an opportunity to exhibit his work in Paris, a dream he had chased for years. It meant leaving Willowbrook, leaving Elena. He told her on the bridge one cold morning, his voice trembling with the weight of choice. Elena's heart ached, but she smiled bravely. "You must go," she whispered. "Dreams should never be caged." Adrian laughed, and the bridge became lonelier than ever. Still, Elena walked across it every morning, as if holding on to the echo of his presence. Seasons turned, and years passed. She grew older, her hair touched with silver, but her heart never let go of the boy with the sketchbook. Then one spring dawned, as she stood by the river, she saw a figure on the bridge. The same dark hair, though now threaded with gray. Adrian. His eyes searched for hers with the same unspoken tenderness. He had traveled the world, exhibited in grand cities, but he returned to the bridge where love had first found him. "Paris was beautiful," he said softly, "but nothing compared to you." Tears blurred her vision as she laughed and cried all at once. And in that moment, with the river flowing beneath and the dawn painting the sky in colors only Adrian could ever capture, Elena knew, some loves don't fade with time, they only grow stronger, waiting for the right moment to return. From then on, the bridge was no longer a place of waiting. It became the place where two souls, after a lifetime of searching, finally came home. The Bridge of Lanterns. The little town of Elmsworth had always been known for its quiet streets, its riverside market, and the old wooden bridge that crossed over the Silver Blue River. Every autumn, the townsfolk would hang lanterns along the bridge, turning it into a glowing pathway that shimmered against the water at night. It was here, on one such evening, that fate decided to weave together two lives. Clara had lived in Elmsworth her whole life. She was the daughter of a local baker, a gentle soul with kind eyes, who carried with her the scent of warm bread and cinnamon wherever she went. For years, she had walked across that bridge alone, looking at the lanterns and secretly wishing that one day, she would not have to walk it by herself. On the other side of the world, Ethan had lived a very different life. A traveler, a photographer, a man who could never stay in one place too long. He had drifted from city to city, chasing sunsets and capturing them through the lens of his camera. But no matter how many horizons he chased, something always felt missing. His journeys brought him, unexpectedly, to Elmsworth one golden autumn evening, just in time for the Lantern Festival. That night, the bridge was alive with laughter, with couples walking hand in hand, and with children running beneath the glowing lights. Clara stood by the railing, watching her reflection ripple in the water below. Ethan, drawn by the sight of the lanterns, raised his camera and began to take photos. It was then he noticed her. There was something about the way she looked at the river, quiet, thoughtful, as if she were searching for something beyond the lights. Without thinking, Ethan lifted his camera and captured the moment. The soft glow of lanterns painted her face in gold, and in that single frame, he saw a story that felt different from all the others he had chased. Clara turned, surprised to see a stranger pointing a camera in her direction. Ethan lowered it immediately, embarrassed. I'm sorry, he stammered. I didn't mean to intrude. The light, it was perfect. Clara smiled gently. It's all right. The lanterns make everything look magical, don't they? They began to talk, awkwardly at first, but then with ease, as though they had known each other longer than a single evening. Ethan told her about the places he had been, the deserts and mountains, the cities that never slept. Clara listened with wide eyes, fascinated by a life so different from her own. She told him about Elmsworth, about the bakery, about the comfort of staying rooted in one place. Hours slipped away as they walked the bridge together. When the last lanterns dimmed and the townsfolk went home, Clara and Ethan remained, reluctant to say goodbye. In the days that followed, Ethan found himself returning to Elmsworth again and again. He photographed the streets, the river, the bakery, and always, Clara. She had become the center of his lens, the quiet anchor to his restless soul. Clara, too, felt her heart change. For years, she had feared that her life was too small, too ordinary. But with Ethan, she began to see the beauty of her world through his eyes, the way the morning sun touched the bakery windows, the laughter of children in the marketplace, the glow of lanterns reflected in the river. Seasons passed. Winter came, with its snow that blanketed the bridge in silence. Spring followed, filling the air with blossoms. Ethan's time to leave drew near, for the road always called to him. But this time, the thought of leaving tore at him in a way it never had before. On the night of the next Lantern Festival, Ethan took Clara back to the bridge. Lanterns swayed in the cool breeze, just as they had when they first met. He held her hand, his voice trembling. I've spent my whole life chasing places, he said softly. But when I found you, I realized what I'd been searching for wasn't out there. It was here, with you. Clara's eyes filled with tears, but they were not of sadness. She had always feared that love would pass her by, like the river beneath the bridge. Yet here, standing beside her, was a man who had seen the whole world, and still chose her. The lanterns flickered gently above them as Ethan kissed her for the first time. And in that moment, the bridge was no longer just a pathway across the river. It became the place where two lives, once wandering in different directions, finally met and chose to walk forward together. From then on, the Bridge of Lanterns became more than a town tradition. It became their story. A promise, written in light, that love can be found in the most unexpected of places, and that sometimes, the most beautiful journeys end not in faraway lands, but in the arms of someone who feels like home.